the state of New Jersey who have not gotten a raise in the past 2 years. We do step increments, and they've been frozen. So unfortunately, they've been working for the same rate of pay for the last 2 years. The healthcare premiums have gone up, and it's like, all right, well, you got a whole lot of money, but now no one knows where the money goes. So the next governor is going to have quite a task, and this goes before Chris Christie. It goes back into the 90s when the pension system was first dipped into and the money wasn't replaced. And then each governor that came behind it it's like the bad little kid that nobody wants to play with, so they just push it all to the side. And now it's getting to the point where it has to be addressed. So, they're also talking about regionalizing. They have what they call home rule up here in New Jersey, where you have each township, city, everybody has their own everything: police department, fire department, school system, school board with a superintendent, all of this stuff right here. And now they're talking about the big word, the buzzword is shared services, because what they want to do and what they're trying to do is to consolidate some of these things. Princeton was able to successfully do it. They had Princeton Borough and Princeton Township. They merged together, so now it's just Princeton. So if they could do that throughout the state of New Jersey, then it might help because you're charging property taxes where they got to pay these folks. So you got all of these people, especially when you have individuals who are superintendents of the school board. Imagine 500-plus school districts. Everybody has a school board with a superintendent. And look at all of the money. The money's going at the top. Meanwhile, the teachers, they do all of the work and get a little bit, a few dollars.
Yeah.
But then you have individuals who are running the school system making a lot of dollars. And the system has been upside down for quite some time. I guess it's getting to the point now where people are starting to pay attention more. Don't show up at my church. Don't show up at my place of business and fast talk me, and then get into office, and then everything you said you would do was just that. You said you would do it. You don't follow through on your word. So people are now looking at, and some people get mad. Are you going to vote Democrat or Republican? I'm not voting either one, because for me, I'm an independent voter. I have been for quite a while. So I don't owe either party anything. And loyalty you're not going to get because you've never been loyal to me. You know what I mean? Like, people get, I don't know if they get frustrated or not, and they'll say, well, the Democrats this and the Democrats. Yeah, but then when you pay attention, when you're not paying attention, because most people only pay attention around election time, look at all the things they did in between time.
Right.
And you think you want to blame the governor, but the governor's just the final answer. Y'all, you bring it to a vote, you bring it to him. He says, yeah, go ahead and run it, or no, go back and fix it. So there's a lot of stuff being done when no one's paying attention, and then everybody believes that it's the fault of the other, but it's the fault of both groups.
Very much so, and you're actually so right, and that's actually one of the things they were talking about even with the mayoral candidate here in Durham, because I went to a couple of the forums, and I know that at least once, if not twice, they have been asked almost point blank, y'all are coming into our neighborhoods, our inner cities, like you said, coming to our churches and things of that nature. We want to know, you're doing that during campaign season. Will you be doing it if you are elected? We don't want you just coming in here doing it because you need our votes, but we want you to be sure that you're going to actually be dealing with these issues when it's time to actually deal with them. Because, one of the things that we always forget is that these kind of campaigns, particularly the off-year ones, these are actually the folks that oftentimes make decisions that more directly impact us than even those on the federal level. And these are the elections that we oftentimes have to pay closer attention to, and we don't. And as a matter of fact, I'm looking at the article right now, and it says that early voting here will start on Thursday. So it'll start on September 21st, says there are 652 registered voters in the city of Durham, but far fewer than that are actually expected to vote. So one of the local people here said that in the 2015 municipal primary here, just 7.8% of the registered voters voted. And in November 2015, the general municipal election, it was more, but not by much. It was 10.6%. It says historically it's been lower, but this is the first time we've had a non-incumbent on ballot since 1997, and all our wards will be tested, including one incumbent not running. So asked what he might expect for the turnout for the October 10th primary and the November 7th general election. He says it's hard to project, but over 20% would be nice. 100% would be great, but 20% or more would be a major increase. So definitely, like if you want to know about the breakdown in terms of race, there are 86,811 white registered voters in the city, 75,659 black voters, 524 American Indian voters, and 25,651 voters who checked off other for their race. So there's definitely, and in terms of the party, it says that there are 587 who are Democrats and 20,319 who are Republicans, and 58,855 are kind of like you. They're unaffiliated or independents, as you might say. So there's a large chunk of them here in this area as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how things play out in our local elections and whether folks actually come to the fore, because I know that there's definitely some blocks of people. I know that Mr. Freelon, who is a youth activist, is definitely trying to mobilize some of the youth voters. Steve Schul has some of his people that he's affiliated with, as do Farad Ali and some of the other candidates as well. So I was earlier mentioning about the PACs, and that's the word I was looking for, was PAC involvement, and says behind the candidate's own campaign volunteers, political action committee endorsements can sway voters. Because candidates don't run with party labels, the endorsements can help voters know what kind of interest is supporting them, and they may provide some money. But also the question is whether they provide people power, said Bob Hall, and he's the executive director of Democracy North Carolina. So of the big three PACs in Durham, the People's Alliance endorsed Steve Schul, who's one of the mayoral candidates, as well as Deidreana Freeman and John Rooks, and also they endorsed Bernetta Alston. So that's who one of our people were endorsing. But then you look at one of the other ones, the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Black People, and they endorsed Farad Ali, Cora Cole McFadden, who is our mayor pro tem and running for one of the for her city council ward seat, Mark Anthony Middleton, who's a reverend, as well as Sheila Ann Huggins, and then the Friends of Durham endorsed Farad Ali, Cora Cole McFadden, Mr. Middleton, I should say, and then they turned around and endorsed Moffitt. So as you can see, and that's Dan Moffitt, who's an incumbent as well, Don Moffitt, I should say. So as you can see, it's just all kinds of political intrigue going on. Some that are endorsing some of the same people, some that are endorsing different people, or having like at least a difference of one or two candidates. So it's really going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, and see, like here in New Jersey, they give you stats and say, oh, these people voted in the primary, it's percentage of this and percentage of that, but it's a closed primary state, meaning, you know, those of us who are unaffiliated, in order to vote in the primary, would have to declare a party, vote, and then jump back out. But it doesn't always fit like that because, you know, most independent voters vote on the issues. I don't vote because, you know, this person is Democrat or this person is Republican. We're going to vote the line because we want our party to get in. Sometimes there are individuals on the other side of the aisle who it makes more sense to the receiver. So, you know, no one goes in, and some people may have a scattered ballot. I know I've had it a few times where, no, I don't like this individual, I like this person. I'm not going to not vote for them because they're Republican. You know, what they're trying to do makes sense to me, or I'm not going to vote for this guy because he's not Democrat. I mean, because he is a Democrat. You know, I don't care who has my better interests at hand, that's who deserves the vote. And with the two-party system, one of the biggest flaws that I see in that is a lot of times people will just vote the line. You may not even like this person as a candidate, but, the Republicans just did it very effectively, and they're probably like, well, we really don't like this guy, but he's running on our party, so he beat out everybody else, so all right, we're gonna vote for him. And we were jacked either way because Hillary Clinton just came out and said she received zero support from Bernie Sanders, and,
wow.
And it's like, are you kidding me? She was on the View, I believe, and she was saying that when President Obama beat her, she backed him and supported him, and she didn't get that from Bernie Sanders. I was like, actually, you got that support before the voting came. So because it was like Monday, he was like, I'm against this, and this. Vote me in the White House. This is what I'm going to work to change. And then Tuesday, he came out and was like night and day, like, she's the better candidate. I support her, and you need to support her too. Wait a minute, dog. The primaries, I don't think the primaries had even happened. Like, you didn't lose. In fact, nobody won. But then he supported her, and that's how she became the candidate. It's just that it's a lot going on. When you got a lot of stuff going on with you, then people are more inclined to say, you know what? Nah, I'll pass. And that's exactly what happened to her. Like you got too much stuff going on. Now, had you stayed in the Senate, you probably would have had a chance. Because nobody would have known how good or how bad you may be. But when you get to a situation where they know and they're looking at it, and some people like it and some people don't, and you brought all this attention to yourself, well, you can't dodge it now.
That's very true.
So
that's very true.
It backfired for her,
Yeah, it totally backfired. And now folks are trying to figure out what happened, and while we're dealing with Trump, and he's running around. I think this time he's back on the international stage, and last time he was on the international stage, he had that infamous golf cart incident where people are doing a walking tour, and he decided to follow behind in a golf cart, and then he also pissed folks off having these long marathon meetings with Putin, and then almost ignoring some of the other folks and having these long marathon sessions with him and everything, and now he's back on the world stage again. We'll see how many times he puts his foot in his mouth this time.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
He has a history of doing that, so I'm sure he will find another way to put his foot in his mouth once again. So one of the things I'm hoping is that we're going to hear from Joe Newberry, so I'm hoping that he'll be giving us a call, because one of the things we're going to try to talk about on this particular show is the wonderful world of bluegrass. So hopefully we'll hear from Joe Newberry, and I'm hoping that I'll just told him to call, and he said he had it on his schedule, so we're hoping that he'll give us a buzz in and call us in and tell us all about the wonders of bluegrass music. Had a couple of other folks that have promised they're going to call in and talk about their musical background as well. So if you want to drop that number in case they're listening and want to try to give us a buzz and things of that nature, that would be great. And if not, we'll just continue our running dialogue.
Well, if they want to call in and join the conversation, they can give us a call at 646-668-8393. Yep, that's the voice of the people, y'all.
Yeah, that's definitely the voice of the people, and that, like I said, we've got all kinds of great things happening on the entertainment culture. We had Centerfest this weekend as well as SparkCon, and I believe there was even a Bug Festival as well, which Raleigh had. SparkCon and Bug Fest were both in Raleigh, and this week I believe Carrboro has got a music festival, and then I believe it's the end of the month is the big Wide Open Bluegrass Festival. So there's all kinds of great entertainment. We love having our festivals, particularly in the summer and the fall, but we like having them just about all year long here in the Triangle area. So there's always folks having some festival or another around here and just thoroughly enjoying themselves. You know, definitely during the summer